Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo 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 Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki
Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki.
Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 4, the appearance of Sri Narad, text 26. Evam pravṛttasya sadā bhūtānāṁ śreyasi dvijāḥ sarvātmakenāpi yadā nātuṣyad dhṛdayaṁ tataḥ evaṁ pravṛttasya sadā bhūtānāṁ śreyasi dvijāḥ sarvātmakenāpi yadā nātuṣyad hṛdayam tataḥ evaṁ pravṛttasya sadā bhūtānāṁ śreyasi dvijāḥ sarvātmakenāpi yadā nātuṣyad hṛdayam tataḥ evaṁ pravṛttasya sadā bhūtānāṁ śreyasi dvijāḥ sarvātmakenāpi yadā nātuṣyad hṛdayam tataḥ evam thus pravṛttasya one who is engaged in sadā always bhūtānāṁ of the living being śreyasi in the ultimate good dvijāḥ O twice born sarvātmakenāpi by all means yadā when na atuṣyat become satisfied hṛdayam mind tataḥ at that time. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. O twice born brāhmaṇas, still his mind was not satisfied, although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people. Please repeat after me. O twice born brāhmaṇas, still his mind was not satisfied, although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Śrī Vyāsadeva was not satisfied with himself, although he had prepared literatures of Vedic value for the all-around welfare of the general mass of people. It was expected that he would be satisfied. It was expected that he would be satisfied by all such activities, but ultimately he was not satisfied. So we go to the next verse then. So everybody knows the background, everybody remembers the background. Vyāsadeva, seeing the condition that's going to happen in the age of Kali, he decided to simplify the Vedic wisdom. Because without the Vedic wisdom, there is no way to achieve the perfection of life. Materialistic knowledge cannot give us the ultimate benefit. Material knowledge can give some prosperity in this material world, but the ultimate benefit cannot be derived, because ultimate benefit is not material prosperity. The ultimate benefit is spiritual involvement. Unless and until we become involved spiritually, there is no possibility of achieving the ultimate benefit. Now, how can we get the spiritual knowledge here? The only means of receiving spiritual knowledge is the Vedas. And we have discussed it a few times before, that at the beginning of creation, Brahma was bewildered. The first person who appeared here, although he came directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he didn't have the knowledge. That means he didn't have spiritual wisdom. So in the material nature, everyone is born in ignorance. In the material nature, what to speak of spiritual wisdom? In the material nature, when one comes, one cannot even understand who he is. So Brahma was in a dilemma inside that way, and at that time the Supreme Personality of Godhead gave him the knowledge. And how did he give the knowledge? Did he come in front of Brahma and say, Brahma, bhūrbhuvasva tat saviturvarenam? Did he say that? Then what happened? From within his heart, he inspired him. So, but cultivating that knowledge, cultivating that process, Brahma received the knowledge, and that knowledge was seeing the Lord in the spiritual world. That's how Brahma received the knowledge, and this is how he actually brought the knowledge about the spiritual world down to this material nature. So now if we look at it, can there be any other possibility of receiving this knowledge apart from approaching the Vedas? Is it possible? No. So now Vyāsadeva saw, without the Vedic knowledge, there is no possibility of achieving the perfection of their existence. But the human life comes with a wonderful opportunity. The human life comes with the opportunity to achieve perfection, achieve spiritual perfection. That's possible only in the human form of life. So when one gets the human form of life, what should one do? Achieve spiritual perfection. Now, if the Vedas are not available, how will one achieve spiritual perfection? If the Vedic wisdom is not available, how one will achieve spiritual perfection? Now, the Vedic knowledge is very, very vast and very complex. And in order to understand something very complex, one needs some qualification. One has to be extremely intelligent, right? One has to be extremely dedicated. One must be very, very diligent. And it may take a long time to study. Now, do the people of the age of Kali, do have these faculties? No. Their memory is very weak. Their intelligence is practically non-existent. And their lifespan is very short. And they all are extremely lazy. So, and unless and until one has the total understanding of the Vedas, one cannot actually understand the real purpose of the Vedas. Sometimes we discuss that. What is the meaning of the total understanding of the Vedas? The Vedas first giving the karma kanda section. That is how to enjoy this material nature. Then the Vedas are giving the jnana kanda. And then after achieving the ultimate perfection of the level, in the level of jnana kanda, that means yoga siddhi, samadhi, one comes to the ultimate goal, that is surrender to the Lord and be engaged in devotional service. So gradually one has to go to the ultimate platform. Just like can anybody be elevated to the master's degree in straight away? He has to go step by step. Primary school, secondary school, high school, college, university, right? So one has to be gradually elevated to understand the topic properly. So Vyāsadeva thought of simplifying the process so that people can understand the ultimate goal of life. So Vyāsadeva had done everything. He gave the goal of karma kanda section, jnana kanda section, and he also gave the ultimate consideration, Vedanta Sutra. But Vedanta Sutra, the ultimate purpose of the Vedas had been, what is the ultimate purpose of the Vedas? To know Krishna and become engaged in devotional service. Vedanta Sutra is giving that in the form of sutra. Sutra means aphorisms, concise formula, simplified and concise. Like for example, when you study science, you see that water is defined as H2O. Sugar is defined as H6O12. Yeah, and O6 and H12. So, can a layman understand what is this? H2O. They'll think, oh, they can't even spell. And H2O can mean anything. Water is fine. So now Vedanta Sutra is like in that form, in the aphorisms. Like this we can see at the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Janmadasya jataha annayaditarataschatthe savik sarat. Tene brahmarila adikavaye muhyanti jatsudaya. This one verse is giving all the understanding. Janma adi asya, birth and everything, etc. Who is the cause? Who is the source? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. And He created this material nature with three elements. Teja, body, mrita. Teja means fire, body means water, mrita means earth. So all that we are seeing is a combination of these three things. Just as three colors. Originally there are three simple colors. What are those three colors?
Red, blue, yellow.
Red, blue and yellow. And with this mixing these three colors, one paints a picture. But actually it's a combination of just three colors. So similarly, material creation is a combination of Teja, Body, Mrida. Teja, Body, Mridam. So, but it bewilders even the demigods. Muhyanti Jatsudaya. And that knowledge he imparted in the heart of Brahma. So that is what the Vedas is. And so you can see, like, if you just read that aphorism, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now the question about the spiritual inquiry. So it's given in the form of aphorism, Vedanta Sutra, but generally people don't understand that. Vyāsadeva had done everything. He gave everything to, and in a simplified way. And then he gave Mahabharata for those who are not very intelligent, in the form of stories, history, not story. He narrated the history. And in this history he gave Bhagavad Gita, just for common people. So this is how Vyāsadeva did his job. And not only that, he gave different branches of knowledge to his different disciples. But still he was discontent. So after that we will see how Narad Muni came and told Vyāsadeva the cause of his dissatisfaction. Why? Because you have not given the ultimate essence of the Vedas for the benefit of the people, common people. And that is how Vyāsadeva was inspired to elaborate, explain, give his commentary on Vedanta Sutra. And that is Srimad Bhagavatam. Arthvayam Brahma Sutranam. Artha means the meaning, explanation of Brahma Sutranam. Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra. Srimad Bhagavatam is the meaning of Vedanta Sutra. Bharatartha vinirnayam. And it is giving the indication what is the purpose, what is the objective of Srimad Bhagavatam, of Mahabharata. Bharatartha vinirnayam. So in this way you can see that Srimad Bhagavatam is the ultimate culmination of the entire Vedas. So this is how it is being explained. Okay, since these are next few verses, we can discuss also. The next verse is saying, thus the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect, because he knew the essence of religion, and he said within himself, I have under strictly disciplinary vows unpretentiously worshipped the Vedas, the spiritual master, and the altar of sacrifice. I have also abided by the ruling and have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of the Mahabharata, by which even women, Sudras, and others, friend of the twice born, can see the path of religion. So Prabhupada writes a purport here. No one can understand the import of the Vedas without having undergone a strict disciplinary vow and disciplic succession. Why disciplic succession is necessary? Why disciplic succession is necessary? Because the knowledge is actually flowing through the disciplic succession. The Vedas, spiritual masters, and sacrificial fire must be worshipped by the desiring candidate. All these intricacies of Vedic knowledge are systematically presented in the Mahabharata for the understanding of women class, the labor class, and the unqualified members of the brāhmaṇas, kshatriyas, and Vaishya families. In this age, the Mahabharata is more essential than the original Vedas. In this age, Mahabharata is more essential than the original Vedas. The next verse, Vyāsadeva is thinking, I am feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. I'm feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. Srila Prabhupada is saying in the Purport, undoubtedly Srila Vyāsadeva was complete in all the details of the Vedic achievements. Purification of the living beings submerged in matter is made possible by the prescribed activities of the Vedas. But the ultimate achievement is different. Unless it is attained, the living being, even though fully equipped, cannot be situated in the transcendentally normal stage. Srila Vyāsadeva appeared to have lost the clue and therefore felt dissatisfaction. Next verse. This may be because I did not specifically point out the devotional service of the Lord, which is dear both to perfect being and to the infallible Lord. Srila Prabhupada is saying in the Purport, the dissatisfaction which was being felt by Srila Vyāsadeva is expressed herein in his own words. This was felt for the normal condition of the living being in the devotional service of the Lord. Unless one is fixed in the normal condition of service, neither the Lord nor the living being can become fully satisfied. This defect was felt by him. When Narad Muni, his spiritual master, reached him, it is described as follows. As mentioned before, Narada reached the cottage of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas on the bank of Saraswati just as Vyāsadeva was regretting his defects. At the auspicious arrival of Narada, Śrī Vyāsadeva got up respectfully and worshipped him, giving him veneration equal to that given to Brahmaji, the Creator. So thus ends this chapter. So Prabhupada ends it with its purport. The Bidhi means Brahma, the first created living entity. He is the original student as well as professor of the Vedas. He learned it from Sri Krishna and taught Narada first. So Narada is the second Acharya in the line of spiritual succession. He is the representative of Brahma, and therefore he is respected exactly like Brahma, the father of all Bidhis, regulations. Similarly, all other successive disciples in the chain are also equally respected as representatives of the original spiritual master. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 4th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Appearance of Sri Narada. So, in this way, Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us the perfect knowledge to achieve the ultimate goal of life. What is the ultimate goal of life? The ultimate goal of life is to become engaged in devotional service. And this ultimate goal of life can be achieved only through the proper guidance in the line of Narada. There are two lines. One line is towards the material nature, and the other line is the spiritual nature. Karma Kanda is giving the direction of the material nature. Jnana Kanda is giving direction out of material nature, out of material nature. And Vedanta and ending in Srimad Bhagavatam is giving the direction of when we become liberated, what do we do? When you become liberated, what will you do? Does it mean that when one becomes liberated, he stops doing anything and everything? Even at a liberated stage, we have to do something. And what is the liberated activity? The liberated activity is devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is it difficult to understand? So, there are two ways. Living entities are active. Nahi kaśchit ksanamopi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Akarmakrit. Without being active, a living entity cannot stay even for a moment. Nahi kaśchit ksanamopi. Kshana means a fraction of a moment. One cannot stay without acting even for a fraction of a moment. We have to be active all the time. So inactivity is not possible. When I say, well, when I fall asleep, I am inactive. Okay, your gross body is inactive, but your subtle body is active. And even if you think the gross body is inactive, just consider how many activities are going on in the gross body. You are sleeping, but the body is digesting food. You are sleeping, but lungs are breathing. You are sleeping, but the heart is pumping blood. You are sleeping, although the body is not functioning apparently, but still kidney is filtering the blood. So this is how all the activities are going on in the body. Can we stay without acting even for a moment? No. Even in this material platform, we cannot stay without acting. So what to speak of the spiritual platform? In the spiritual platform, our consciousness remains always active. So this is how one becomes situated in the spiritual world. You have to act. But in the what is the spiritual activity? To serve Krishna. Here we are serving our senses, there we serve Krishna's senses. Here we try to serve our senses. And what is the result? What is the outcome? The more we try to gratify our senses or serve our senses, the more we suffer. But when we serve Krishna's senses, we enjoy. Real enjoyment comes from being engaged in devotional service. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande. Does anybody have any question? Yes.
As in this degraded age of Kali Yuga, can we receive the knowledge just as Brahmaji received directly from Krishna? Is it possible? Or
do you want to try it?
No, we have already receiving from you. So
good question.
Try. Because nowadays so
who
many
can
people.
See who is as strong, as powerful as Lord Brahma? Who is, first of all, how will anybody know the need of receiving this knowledge?
He must be inspired by someone.
Okay, inspired by someone.
Yeah, because why?
So now the question is, can you get it yourself?
No, practically.
Even that understanding of spiritual need for spiritual knowledge to get it like Brahma. You have to get it from you have to have the understanding from somewhere. Right? So even to begin with, you need some source of information. Right? So already you are not in a position like Brahma. Brahma had to find out himself. But here, can we do that? Can we find it out ourselves? No. That's why we see so many people are in ignorance. So they're in ignorance means that they don't understand the need for this knowledge, need for understanding Krishna. Now, if somebody says, without any help from a spiritual master, I will get the knowledge. It's something like saying, without studying under the guidance of a qualified doctor, I'll become a doctor. Can anybody become a doctor by himself?
He may, but may not expert. You may simple, ordinary doctor.
No, I'm saying, can anybody become a doctor? Can anybody become an engineer by himself, studying the books himself?
No.
I mean, he may study, but he won't be recognized. Right? He won't be recognized. Can anybody become an accountant by himself? Can anybody become a pharmacist?
No.
Just by himself, no? The simple way to receive knowledge is taking from somebody. Okay, it's something like you come to Orlando and you have an address of somebody, right? Now, can you, by means of your own effort, find the house? Mind me, there is no map.
Oh, no GPS.
There is no street map. There is nothing. On your own you have to find the house. Can you do that?
Impossible.
Right. Impossible. But there are ways, like you take the street map, you can probably find it. But the easiest way is you hire a taxi, right? And give it to him, I want to go to that address. And then what does the taxi driver do? He drives you. And then after a long flight, you may even fall asleep in the car. You don't have to worry about it. The taxi driver will take you.
Yeah.
Right? So now you tell me which option you want to take. You want to find it out, the house yourself, or you want to get into a taxi and go to the house?
Take the help.
So which one is the intelligent proposal?
Taking help from someone.
Right. So those who are intelligent, they'll follow this process. Oh, this knowledge is available, so let me go there. If I want to know Krishna, ISKCON is the place. Right? So let me go to ISKCON. And once you come to ISKCON, what happens? Does it become very difficult to receive the knowledge?
Very easy.
Right?
Provided if we are open to receive.
Not only open, provided you're intelligent.
Maharaj, I asked this question because nowadays so many swindlers are around and people are being cheated by them. So they have lost their faith in any guru or any organization. And so-called intelligent people, they think, no, we will become enlightened simply by some meditation or something. That's why they don't want to submit themselves to any guru or.
Okay. So let's go back to the same analogy. You got into a taxi and the taxi driver cheated you. Right? He took you around all over and say, here is the house. You pay him the money, and then you knocked at the door and you found that he brought you to a wrong place. Now then do you decide that, okay, now I'm not going to trust any taxi driver. On my own I'll find out the place. Is it an intelligent way to do?
Again.
You may have been cheated by one. Why? To begin with, you didn't use your intelligence. You followed the person because you saw that so many other people are following him. They're paying him a lot of money and going to his lectures. So he must be a real guy. But the thing is, okay, you may have been cheated once, but to give up, is it intelligent? No. The intelligent thing is to find out the person you're approaching, you have to see whether he is going to deliver the right thing. When you go to the marketplace to buy butter, and if somebody gives you a bunch of soya tofu, it may look like butter,
Yeah.
right? But are you going to settle for that? Okay, then you say, well, I didn't come to get this, I want butter. So you be first clear about what you want and whether you're getting that. And the thing is, okay, thousands of people may not be joining ISKCON, but those who are joining, what is their condition? Do they feel they have been cheated?
No.
Do any of you feel that you have been cheated? No. Provided you are in the right frame of mind. Sometimes one may think, oh, I joined ISKCON thinking that I'll get so much money. But they don't even pay me anything. Rather, they engage me in service and say, your payment will be up there. So, we have to understand what we actually came here for. Did you come here for material gain, or did you come here for spiritual prosperity?
Thanks.
Maharaj, what is the qualification for studying Srimad Bhagavatam? Because you have explained that first karma kanda, then gyan kanda, and then the ultimate culmination is...
The first qualification is faith. Ado Shraddha. You have to accept that this process is the real one. And then you follow that. Before that, you can check it. As I said, use your intelligence and see if this is giving the right information. And the best way to see is by seeing those who are engaged in this process, how they are doing. Like there are spiritual organizations, so-called spiritual organizations. They're very popular. But what they're providing, they say, come here and you'll have unlimited sex. There are organizations like that. Joining spiritual organization to have unlimited sex. Or become an expert in sex life. That's the grossest material activity. Why should one go to spiritual institution for that kind of things? Or some institutions say, if you we'll teach you how to become very successful in making money. Is that the goal of life? Is the goal of life dhanam, janam, sundarim? No. Rather, the spiritual path is na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Don't join a spiritual organization for the sake of material gain like this. Getting money, getting position, getting association of beautiful women. No. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim.
When I first joined here in ISKCON, that time I have no knowledge, no ABC knowledge of spiritual life. What is the goal of life? I don't know. I didn't know actually. So by studying this, I came to understand what is the actual goal of life, and Srimad Bhagavatam is providing it. But if you are not studying these books, then how they can understand what is the ultimate goal of life?
Okay, why did you come to ISKCON then? What made you come to ISKCON?
I don't know, somebody called and somebody invite me and I came.
Okay, it's like somebody called you to get into a train and the train is happening to go to the spiritual world. Right? So it's a good fortune that you just got into a train without knowing where you are going to go.
Without ticket also.
And the train is taking you to the spiritual world. And when you are in the train, then, like, do what you are expected to do. Like, what's the first thing to do? Don't jump out of the train. Right? When the train is moving and you think, oh, well, I got into a wrong train, let me jump out. Even if the train stops at some station, don't get out of the train. If you get out of the train, then get back before it starts moving again. Like we do, sometimes we go to a station, we get out, but as soon as the whistle blows, you run into the train again.
Now I am convinced 100% that we are in the right process and this is the best process. But for outside people who have not this knowledge and who understand the ultimate goal is to dhṛdayaṁ, janam, then what will be there?
Okay, you tell him dhanam janam sundari, suffer. And then if you feel, then yes, come. This is the place where you'll get what you actually need. What does one actually need? Satisfaction of the heart. As we are seeing with Vyāsadeva. Satisfaction of the heart. When he didn't get the satisfaction, he is thinking, where did I go wrong? And then the spiritual master came and gave him the direction. This is where he went wrong. Any other question? Yes, Neha.
When you mentioned that Lord Brahma received knowledge directly from Krishna, so is he still in a bewildering condition or he qualifies as a pure devotee?
When one has the knowledge, then he becomes a pure devotee. When one receives the knowledge and becomes engaged in that understanding, that is when one becomes engaged in the service of the Lord, yes, he becomes a pure devotee.
Then why does he has to come down?
Who? Oh, okay. No, I didn't get your question. Brahma, yeah. Like the point here is, when he came, he was not a pure devotee. But after receiving the knowledge and by being engaged in service of Krishna, he became a pure devotee. At the beginning, we may not be pure devotees, but by being engaged in the process, one becomes a pure devotee. But when one becomes a pure devotee, then he is a pure devotee. Like we cannot think, oh, Brahma was not a pure devotee at the beginning. We have to say that, that was Lord's divine arrangement. Yes.
Kumach, there is a question from Jayati Radha on Facebook. When a person dies, he is given a yatna body for suffering his bad karma. Does the
What body?
Yatana.
Yatna, sorry.
Yatana, Jatana.
Okay.
Her question is, does the super soul join us there also? As
The
Krishna?
super soul always carries, super soul always accompanies the spirit soul. And this jatana body is a subtle body. Through jatana means suffering. Due to sinful activities, one undergoes suffering in the subtle body after death. question, yes, Krishna is always there with the living entity. Any other question?
In the last purport which you read, Srila Prabhupada wrote in the last line that all other successive disciples in the chain are also equally respected as representatives of the original spiritual master.
Yeah.
So, how can we understand this?
The point is, because you're receiving the knowledge, you're feeling grateful to him. Right? The first person got the knowledge and the way he is respected. Point is that one should respect his spiritual master completely. What to speak of respecting like Lord Brahma, who is the original receiver of the knowledge. The scriptures are saying that the spiritual master should be worshipped as good as Krishna. Shakshad harittena shamasta shastre. Acharya mang vijaniyat. Recognize the Acharya, the spiritual master, as non-different from me. So that's up. Now it's up to the individual to what extent he can worship. But the ultimate consideration is that. Okay, thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Om.